listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's a Doggy Dog World is brought to you by 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. 1-800-PET-MEDS is your best source for pet medications, vitamins, supplements, and pet supplies. Get great savings, fast service, and free shipping. Go to petmeds.com/world, WORLD, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more.
It's a big world out there, and you're just looking for a pat on the back or head. You run around the city, searching for a place to bark, working your tail off with your nose to the ground, sniffing for a few scraps, hoping someone will throw you a bone. You take each lead, collar after collar, hoping one day to take a bite out of success and become the top dog. Fortunately, you come home each day to open arms, open cans, a drink waiting for you, and a comfortable place in front of the TV set. You know you've got it good, really good, because after all, it's a doggy dog world out there. Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with your host, pet expert, and award-winning author Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Hi, welcome to It's a Doggy Dog World. I'm your host, Liz Palaika, and with me today are my good friends Petra Burke. Hello. And Kate Abbott.
How do?
Oh, we always have a good time, so don't mind us if we're giggling. In this show, we're going to answer some listeners' questions. We've had some people email us with some questions about their dogs and their dog behavior and their situation at home, and we thought we would address 3 of those today for you. But first, let's listen for a word from our sponsor, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. It's a Doggy Dog World. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's a Doggy Dog World is brought to you by BuyCostumes.com, the web's most popular costume store.
Yes, BuyCostumes.com is your ultimate source of over 15,000 Halloween costumes and party supplies for people and their pets.
Take a bite out of your entire order. 12%. BuyCostumes.com/doggy, DOGGY.
There's a movement afoot, ShoeBuy.com. Join the millions of people who shop ShoeBuy.com's over 400 brands and 500,000 products. Order now and get free shipping and free return shipping. ShoeBuy.com, the world's greatest shoe store.
Walk your dog in style and comfort. Enter the code DOGGY, DOGGY, at checkout and get a 10% discount plus free shipping at ShoeBuy.com.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to petmeds.com/world, WORLD, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at petmeds.com.
I love animals.
If you ask the question, what do I want? What do I need? I'll take affection. I really should mention I need time, I need love, I crave attention. Listen to waiting by the door. I'm bringing for you. With shaking tails and happy hearts. I'm bringing for you. And running circles round the floor. I'm bringing for you. That's always when the party starts. For me.
iTunes. Attention passengers, please fasten your seatbelts, put your seat bags and sleeping pets in their full upright position, and prepare for takeoff.
Pet Life Radio presents Travel Tales, the show where you'll get great travel ideas on perfect places for you and your pet. From Paris to paradise, south of the border to the South Seas, Travel Tales will give you cool tips on fun vacation destinations to travel with your pet, pet-friendly hotels, and advice on how to travel safely and happily with your furry best friends. So, get ready to pack the bags and the bones with your Travel Tales hosts, Susan Sims and Nicholas Veslowski, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. I'm Liz, and with me today are Petra and Kate. And our first listener question is, we just moved into a new house that has a pool. How can I keep my dog safe? Well, Kate's the only one of the three of us that has a pool, and although we've all given advice about that, we'll let Kate lead this discussion. Go, Kate. Go, Kate.
Go. Okay. Okay, pool. So,
cheerleader in your past life?
No, I know some people with pools fence them off.
That is the safest.
If they've got kids and dogs, and actually I think here in California anyway, if you have children, you have to have the pool safely contained for the kids.
Apparently it varies a lot by city.
Oh, okay.
Like for where I live, we had to have a 6 foot around the pool somehow. But the 6 foot around my entire yard
satisfied
was enough.
Ah, okay. So
basically
to keep neighbor kids out of it.
Some of the other cities require a fence within a foot of the pool surround and stuff. There's different regulations.
Yeah.
My
parents are the same, 6 foot.
Around the perimeter.
Yep.
Is enough.
Yep.
Self-locking.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was at one client's house and she actually taught swimming to kids. And she had, it was almost like an exercise pin, but about 4 feet high plastic around her entire pool surround with just about a foot.
Ah, okay.
On each side. So the kids didn't accidentally fall in.
Okay.
And so that to keep the dogs out while the kids were in there splashing and playing.
Ah, that would work too. Yeah.
Because the dogs would get very excited and want to jump in and help.
Sure.
Which I had Hans, remember my first German Shepherd, would do that. I was in the pool, he jumped in and dude grabbed my arm and pulled me out. I'm like, dude, I'm swimming. I'm having fun. Jumped in again. He goes, no, gotta save you. Pulled me back out.
That's a German Shepherd thing, because Paul and I had that happen. We were doing search and rescue, and some fellow search and rescue volunteers invited us to their place after a training session and said, bring the dogs. So the four of us were in the pool. They had a Rottweiler and a Border Collie, and we had the 2 German Shepherds. Their dogs were used to the pool, running circles around it. My dog, Watashi, said, oh my God, you're drowning.
Yeah.
Well, I could keep him out verbally with that. But then our friends had an inflatable frog float, and you sat in the frog's mouth, and you put your arms on the frog's legs, and Paul blew this up, put it in the water, climbed into it, and his dog had a fit. Jumped in the middle of the frog and Paul and bit the frog.
Oh.
And popped it, and then grabbed Paul and drug him to the side of the pool.
He killed the monster and saved Dad.
Trying to swallow Dad.
Yes, so we had to reimburse them for their inflatable frog. Of course, they were laughing so hard I thought they were going to drown in their own pool. Yeah. But anyway, let's back on the subject of safety.
They can be useful. I taught my Roddy to circle people.
Sure.
So then you can have the choice of reaching out and grabbing hold of her collar, and she'll drag you into the shore or to the steps. Mm-hmm. But not coming directly at you and swimming on top of you.
Or grabbing you with their jaws.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But anyway, So managing is probably the safest overall. And because even my dogs are hardly ever out in the backyard without me. And they do tend to hang out on the patio right by the door, not down at the poolside. But even so, we've had friends over, or even they'll get to playing, and one of them will knock each other in. So putting up the fence is the safest. Then second, you want to make sure the dog can swim.
Sure.
Now again, I was at a client's house with 6 dachshunds and a pool. So we were putting them in one by one to make sure they could swim and know how to get out, but I'll get to that in a minute.
And not panic when they're swimming.
Out of the 6 of them, 5, no problem. 2 of them were little otters. The other 3, they could cope. The 6th one, he was doing all the right moves, but he was an extra long dachshund, and he didn't have back end awareness. And it was like watching a slinky trying to swim. His back end would start twisting and torquing, even though the front end was paddling away. And next thing this poor guy knew, he was a rolling log.
Poor guy.
Boy.
So I had to teach him to swim by just, like you would a kid, supporting his back end lightly, until he learned to control his back end and keep it on the straight track.
And then you have the dogs that hate water so much they panic.
Yeah.
Bashir absolutely hates water. He wouldn't drink it unless he needed it for life. And one time when I took him to your place, he, no matter how nice I tried to introduce him, he freaked.
Yeah.
He must have drowned in a former lifetime because he just thought that was the most horrible thing around.
And so, if I had a dog like that in my house with the pool, I would be putting a closer up fence on it just to prevent that from happening.
Right. Because when they panic, that's when they go to the side of the pool and instead of the stairs, and they try to claw their way out, and they panic and panic and panic until they get so exhausted they drown.
Yeah. So they will, that's the second part, is once they can swim, if they do swim, is to teach them how to get out.
Right.
Most dogs don't see through the water very well to see where the steps are, where the shallow end is.
Well, and their eyes are right there at the top.
I mean, you do it. If you put your eyes at a level of a dog sees, you can't see under the water. All you see is the reflection.
Yep.
So the best dog swimming pools are the ones that have the beach sloping entrance. But most of us don't. Most of us have regular steps and, forget the pull yourself out stairs. Those aren't going to happen. So I put something at the pool surround on the outside of the pool.
Like a big potted plant?
Big potted plant, a chair, something.
Something very
visual
visible.
Target.
Right. That's the side, and then I get in the pool with them, and if they try to hang on to the edge, just gently push them off, keep them, and guide them to where they can get out on their own, and then get all happy, and then do it again. You do it again, and you do it again.
Right.
Now, again with the dachshunds, this was a lap pool, so there was a series of steps at one end. 5 out of the 6, including the one who kept rolling, they were able, when they got to the last step, to hop out. The littlest one, she couldn't. So I advised them to get a ramp. And there are various makes and models out there, floating ramps for dogs, that you can attach to the edge of your pool. And a sloping ramp that goes up and down with the water, scamper ramp or something like that.
Boy, they make everything nowadays, don't they?
Get on the internet and look for it. I saw the scamper ramp the other day at Tuesday morning.
Wow.
Which is like an upscale pick and save. But anyway.
An upscale 99-cent store.
Well, it's more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, you unfortunately introduced me to Tuesday morning. I've been there.
Yep. So there are those devices that can make the difference between your dog being able to get out. But at the very least, these dachshunds knew how to go to the steps. So they weren't going to drown, and 5 out of 6 were going to get out of the pool, but one might not make it out on her own. So getting them comfortable in the water, just push them off the side if they're trying to hang on and get out the wrong way. And then show them how they can get out and give them a target. And then, by the way, just as a pool owner, be sure to get some of those pool socks that go over your skimmer filter basket.
Definitely.
You cannot believe how much even a short-haired Rottweiler can shake
we hear
in
horror
water.
stories from a friend who has, how many Newfies? 4, 5?
4 Newfies and 2 Golden Retrievers? Yeah.
You want to stop as much of that hair from getting into your pump as possible. So
definitely.
Sock on your skimmer filter basket is a great idea. Yeah. And of course, The dogs, I notice I have to mess with the chemicals a whole lot more.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Because they're bringing in, they get out, they run around,
Right.
get in the dirt, drop their ball in the dirt, get it muddy, bring it back to the pool.
Personally, I have no idea how you keep that pool clean.
I don't know. At the moment, it's not very, but anyway. So
All right, so
and
how...
don't over-chlorinate, too, when they're around.
Hope that answers our...
I haven't had any problem. Sometimes people wonder with my dog swimming in the summer. I haven't any problem with them drying out of skin or anything. I do occasionally just hose them off with the hose water afterwards. I haven't had any issue with it.
I'm sure a lot of it depends on the chemicals that are used. Because I know some of the chemicals can dry our skin a lot more. All right, moving on to our second question. Second question from our listener was, I was told that I'm just managing my dog's bad behavior rather than teaching him. Can you explain the difference? Actually, that's a wonderful question, and we could go into some huge behavioral concepts, but let's keep it as easy as possible, but because that makes it easier for me to explain. Managing the dog's behavior would be, for example, when you have guests come over, you put the dog in the backyard and leave him there while the guests are there. That's managing the behavior. By putting him in the backyard, he's not trashing your guests, he's not jumping on them, he's not stealing their purse or anything like that. But it's not teaching the dog what to do instead. And I had a long discussion about this with an acquaintance. I'd love to call him a friend, but I don't see him that often. Dr. Dunbar, Dr. Ian Dunbar, is a very well-known behaviorist and dog trainer. He's a huge proponent of puppy training. And he basically started the puppy training movement way back when, before just about anybody else did puppy training. I was interviewing him for an article for Dog World magazine earlier this year, and he talked about that. He said, unfortunately, today, many people, including many trainers, emphasize managing the dog rather than teaching him. His definition of a well-trained dog is a dog who can be trusted off-leash, without a leash, and he's still behaving himself, still cooperating with you, still doing what you ask. So, for example, if we use the guests coming to the house, the dog who's been well-trained and knows the manners might bark when somebody comes to the house, and most of us want that. But then he stops barking when you ask him to. You can allow the guests into the house and the dog is not going to jump on them. And when you invite the guests in and get him a beer, a glass of wine, an iced tea, and you all sit down, the dog will lay down as you ask him to and behave himself. That's a well-trained dog. A dog who's managed is one who's controlled so he can't do anything, but he's not been taught. So there's a big difference there.
You know, I know I've gone to, I mean, that's a great example, because there's people's homes I've gone to, and the first thing they do, I walk in, and they'll put their dog in the backyard. And I'm like, no, it's okay. You know what? Let's teach him how to behave. When a guest, comes over, and I said, I'll help you. But again, that's a great example, because it happens. It's everyone's, I think, first instinct. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me put the dog out back.
I was thinking, as you're saying, about all the different, the new different training aids, the no-pull harnesses, etc., that people use them for years and years and years and years because it manages the dog pulling, but as soon as they take it off. So managing is stopping a behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching is teaching the dog self-control to listen to you.
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah.
The no-pull harness is like, so how's that working for you?
Yeah, your favorite phrase. And whether it's a prong collar or a no-pull harness or a halty or a buckle collar, you use it as long as it is teaching the dog self-control. Mm-hmm. So that someday you can do without it.
And that's not to say managing is bad as long as you're also teaching.
Right.
So if you're in the early stages of teaching your dog good behavior and your grandparents come over and you don't want the dog to trash them, then sure, put them outside. But another way to handle it would be to put the dog on leash and collar and teach him what to do while your grandparents are there. And tell your grandparents, I'm not ignoring you, I'm using you as a distraction. Let's have our conversation while I have the dogs do a downstay. Mm-hmm. So you can manage and control the dogs and then also teach him. But eventually the management should slowly disappear as you're teaching the new behaviors.
So I have a young dog or a puppy in the house. I need to go take a shower. I cannot observe and teach puppy dog. I put him in a crate.
Put him in the crate.
That manages him.
Exactly.
But when I am about and with the puppy dog and he's out of the crate, then I'm teaching him so that eventually someday I can take a shower and leave him sitting on the bathroom floor.
I'm doing that right now. With Paul and I have the new puppy. When I'm working at the computer, finishing up the book project, I have, much to my older dog's dismay, a baby gate across my office door to keep the puppy with me. I've got a bully stick for him to chew on. There's a couple toys. He's learning to rest and relax under my desk while I'm working. I take a break. Baby gate goes up. We go outside to go potty. We walk around the house. He sniffs my shoe. Drop it. Here's your toy. Thank you. So he's learning. But like you say, I go to the store, I go in the shower, he goes in his crate.
So management is more immediate, takes care of an immediate problem, keeps everybody safe, and prevents bad habits.
Training is teaching for the future.
For the future. There we go.
All right. So I hope that answered questions as far as managing and training. We've got one more question for you, but we need to take a break for our sponsor, so hold on, and we'll talk about our third question when we get back.
Sit. Stay. It's a doggy dog world. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's a Doggy Dog World is brought to you by Petco.com. Petco is a leading specialty retailer of premium pet food supplies and services, offering more than 10,000 high-quality pet-related products. Enter the code DOGGY10, D-O-G-G-Y, the number 10, and get 10% off any order. No minimum at Petco.com.
FTD's network of over 40,000 florists around the world have been creating beautiful handcrafted arrangements for 100 years. Each arrangement is delivered the same day and backed by FTD's 7-day satisfaction guarantee. For a century, people have trusted their most important occasions to the flower experts at FTD.
Since Pet Life Radio is all about puppy dogs and flowers, our listeners, that's you, can get a 20% discount on your order. Just go to fluorop.com and use the code DOGGYDOG at checkout. FLEUROP.com. Code word DOGGYDOG.
Hello? Danica, where have you been?
Oh, Grandma, I've been busy, racing, GoDaddy girl.
Oh, I built my own online store with GoDaddy.
Really? Let me see. Grandma'sAuction.com. Hey, are those Grandpa's golf clubs?
Grandma needs her bingo money.
Use promo code DOGGY10, D-O-G-G-Y, the number 10, and get a .com domain name for just $7.49 at GoDaddy.com.
When you're looking to add a pet into your life, consider adopting a homeless animal from your local shelter or rescue group. Whether you want a kitten, puppy, or a more mature pet, a purebred or a one-of-a-kind mixed breed, even a rabbit or hamster, your shelter has the best selection of animals anywhere, all screened for good health and behavior. PetLifeRadio.com presents Take Me Home with your host, Susan Daffron. Join us each week as we showcase wonderful pets, tell stories, and even throw some pet education into the mix. So get ready to find out why the pet adoption option can be a great way to add a furry companion into your life. Take Me Home every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. Well, so far in this podcast, we've answered 2 listeners' questions, but we've got one more to go. Petra, since you're the only mother in the 3 of us, we'll let you handle this one.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, luckily you guys pretty much work out of your homes.
Right.
I physically have to go somewhere every day. So the third question is, I'm a teacher and my kids are all in school. We went back to school last month. The dog's home alone and now being very destructive. Help!
Well, he's lonely.
Yeah.
He was used to everybody being home over the summer.
Exactly. And I'm trying to remember when I had one dog.
Do you remember that far back, Kate?
No, I don't. So, being one that always have been away from the home to work. I luckily have never had an opportunity to work at home. And then having one daughter, chasing her off to school. Now that she's graduated, don't have to worry about it. But, I would have them in first a safe enclosed yard. Again, I know a lot of people have maybe large yards or unsafe fences. I mean, we hear it here in classes all the time.
There's nothing wrong with a dog run.
Exactly. We suggest put a dog run. First, your dog is safe. Second, if they want to dig a hole, they can and sleep in it, as long as they have shelter.
Well, that's a good point. What makes a safe dog run?
Shelter.
Shade from sun, shelter from the weather.
Yep.
Secure fencing. If you've got a dog who likes to jump or climb or try to be an escape artist, a top.
Yep.
Or if you've got critters in the area, there's another mountain lion report in our area.
Yes, there is. I
would
saw
want
that.
it covered.
Yeah.
Dog run outside for a palm.
Yeah. Or
if your dog digs out, you may have to
put a floor.
The bottom, how you have it situated.
Where neighborhood kids and neighbors can't torture him.
Yeah. The neighborhood that happened, it's not fair to the dog.
No. More dogs have been made aggressive towards kids because the school kids walking by take that stick and, bump along the fence or scream and shout or throw things.
Exactly.
In a place where the dog is going to feel secure.
Mm-hmm.
So, close to the house, if you can.
With whatever shelter your climate requires.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Huh?
So a safe dog run. A safe dog
and
run.
We don't get feet of snow out here, but
no.
Yeah.
Back east.
Yep.
Colorado, whatever.
A lot of rain, depending where it is.
So good, safe, secure, weather-proof, if at all possible, dog run.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's managing. But that's smart right now.
Right.
Exactly. And then toys. We always talk about giving them something to do. For example, in the summer, just because we've had this ridiculous heat wave, I did a plastic kids pool. And I put that cube of ice and actually threw some just ice that would float. And I actually did throw a handful of carrots in there and cut up some little apples things and left, they have 3 of them in the dog run altogether. But it kept them busy. And when I got home, you can tell that either some ice around that obviously had melted and they were chewing up on the things. But that kept them busy. They are awake for such a short time as when they do all that destruction, if they don't have anything else to do. They sleep quite a bit when you're not there. But give them that 20 minutes and you'll have a hole dug to China.
Take a plastic pail and freeze treats inside the block of ice.
Mm-hmm.
One of the recipes, and I think you told me about it, Kate, that my dogs absolutely love, and I've been making the last hot spell, the cupcake pans, put the paper cupcake liner in it, shred up some chicken, and then fill it with water or chicken broth and freeze it.
I use very diluted bouillon or chicken broth.
Yeah. Actually, most of the time I just use water. And freeze it, and then you give them this chicken ice cube outside. My guys absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. Kayla did one. You must have talked about it, because all of a sudden she did a few. With some chicken, there was some kibble in there, it worked great.
Did it once for a dog birthday party, and then once we went down to a dog event, and it was going to be a warm day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something we could keep in the ice chest and pull out for the dogs every now and then to keep them occupied.
Sure.
Give them some downtime and cool them off all at the same time.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I think the other one we're mentioning toys is have toys that you can rotate.
Oh,
because
definitely.
like kids, they get bored. Okay, I played with this for a week now. I'm bored. But if you rotate them, it's always something new. And then I love when we went to the Global Pet Expo. I got that little toy food dispensing toy for the Palms.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I will take it, I'll let them play with it for a day, and this is when I'll take it away for a couple days, and then I'll come back, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's a new toy again. And Benji, the little Palm, it's the best thing in the whole wide world. Loves that thing. Keeps him busy forever.
There's a lot of food dispensing toys out there, but the one that I've really become a fan of is the Kong Wobbler, made by Kong Company. They make the Kongs, and the Wobbler is red. Looks like the Kong. It's in the shape of the Kong, but the top unscrews so you can just put a handful of kibble or treats or something in there, screw it back together, and the bottom is weighted enough that the dog actually has to manipulate it to get the treats out. The puppy figured it out quite quickly. I was very impressed because I gave it to him in my office while I was working. The other 3 dogs, I actually put them out of my office so they wouldn't steal it from him. And sniff, 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 pat with a paw. Sniff, 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 pat, sniff, 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 pat. Harder. Treats came out. I mean, you could see that light bulb light over his head. I mean, that light bulb went boing.
Right.
Aha.
Yep, exactly.
It's a great toy. I use that even with the older dogs. If I'm taking 2 of the dogs to the training yard with me, the 2 I'm leaving at home, I'll leave the Kong Wobbler with. Mm-hmm. The only one I have to be careful is Bashir because he will resource guard it. Yeah. Mine. Right. No one else can have it. It's mine. And since he's the boss dog, no one else gets it.
See, well, my favorite for small dogs is the Molecuball.
Oh, yes. That's
Molecuball, because the Wobbler is a little
pretty
bit
heavy.
Too much for the smaller dogs.
Sure.
So a friend with, she's got 4 toy poodles, and one of them was getting quite ancient and was having a hard time staying focused on her food.
Okay.
So I got her the appropriate size Molecuball. And she says it's taken 5 years off of her girl's life because she just loves...
Added 5 years.
Add 5 years, whatever.
Added 5 years.
She acts younger.
We don't want it to kill her off.
No.
No, the molecular ball did not kill the toy poodle.
No. She got younger and happier because now she gets to play with that for her dinner.
Sure. Yeah.
Instead of just in the bowl, which apparently had gotten dull or boring or whatever.
Yeah.
It excited her to eat again.
Yeah.
She started gaining weight again. She was getting quite skinny.
Good.
So that's just, but anything too much would have frustrated her. She would have given up. Mm-hmm. And so I like the Molecule Ball for that reason.
So there's just a variety out there.
Oh, there's lots of them, including the Kong, the original food dispensing toy. And that one, some peanut butter, some cheese, some kibble. And if that's too easy for your dog, put the peanut butter or cheese in it and then throw it in the freezer. And it takes longer for him to get it out.
Yep.
So you know your dog. Pick the level of challenge that they need.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Kong is much too easy for my guys. They get it emptied. Even the frozen one, they empty it very quickly.
And also another thing you could do, depending if you have your dog run near the home or if you can get some music out there, you can also put just like elevator music.
Easy listening.
No hard rock.
You pick music, and yet I used to pick AM talk stations.
Oh, yeah. I like the easy listening. I still do
can
it.
Explain why my dogs like Rush Limbaugh.
There's your problem.
No, I'm just joking. But the sound of human voices meant more to them than music.
Yeah, see, I think the sound of human voices, especially male voices, would be more disturbing to the Aussies.
Maybe that's the difference. I don't know.
But
so
we
play with it
would,
and find out what your dog likes.
Or I'll leave the TV on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that too at times.
Yeah.
And then also, this is while you're gone, give your dog something to do. But then when you come home, oh my gosh, my guys are instantly with me. Whether we go out and we play, more fetch games, they're in the house, and then they're with me after that, as soon as I get home. And this is, I've raised so many dogs this way, because a lot of people, or a lot of rescues, I guess, also recommend you should be home most of the day as much. And I was like,
not many people can do that.
No, in this economy, you can't. And I'm one that I raised a daughter. I had to work all the time. Luckily, my second job being dog training, dogs are here working with me. But they've all grown up to be good dogs, happy dogs. I spend time in the morning with them. Before I leave, they get their little toys, whatever out there at the run. I come home, they're with me again.
Well, let me put in a plug then for doggy daycare centers.
Yeah.
You have enough dogs,
well
you almost leave
screened.
them for your own. You have your own dog.
Yeah, they all play with each other,
But that's
keep
the
each
other
other
point.
busy.
Yes, there are good
Well
ones and there are bad
screened.
ones.
Yes.
We've
But a
heard
good
some
one-
horror stories.
Yes.
Good ones are awesome.
Yeah.
Well, just like there's good daycare centers for kids.
Right.
And
Right.
bad daycare centers for
Right.
kids. Go there, observe, look,
Do
talk to
like
the
you do
people.
with your child. I know before I picked Kayla, when she was younger, I asked. I talked to actually parents and I asked around, who do you recommend? Same with doggy daycares. Who do you recommend? We heard ones that were mixing up small breeds and large breeds together.
And dogs got killed.
Yeah. Or dogs are mixed, or too many.
Too many.
And
yeah.
for one person to babysit them, I guess, watch them, and they didn't know what to do if there was a dog fight.
And the dogs should be pre-screened before they are put out in the play area.
Mm-hmm.
The best ones will have an interview. You and your dog come for an interview, and your dog is basically temperament tested with other dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good doggy daycare. But sure, a couple times a week, take the edge off your dog, get him out, get him socialized while you're at work. And there's some that will actually come to the house, pick up your dog, and then bring him back.
Right.
Others that have a camera in there that you can check up on the internet. You can see what your dog's doing during the day.
So you don't have a doggy daycare in your area. How about a dog walker?
Yeah, that's my next thing.
A lot of pet
Dog
sitters.
walker. Exactly.
A lot of pet sitters do dog walking. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Break up the day for your
if
dog.
you've got a reliable teenager in your neighborhood or a reliable senior citizen who would like to go for walks.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Or even do doggy daycare with one small dog in their home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
be
there's some
creative.
people. Yeah, there's some people that maybe they are home, retired, have a dog, and you're a neighbor of theirs, and your dogs get along. Arrange something that they're the babysitter while you're at work.
Well, actually, I know somebody does it. So a retired person, they don't want to get a dog. They're afraid they're going to die and leave a dog alone in the world. They miss having a dog. Their neighbor works, so they get custody during the day.
Sure.
They get a dog to go to the park with, walk with, watch TV with. During person comes home for work, pass them off. They share custody.
And the dog gets the best of both worlds.
Sure.
Yeah.
How wonderful.
And the businessman has to go on a trip. He knows he's got somebody right there to take care of the dog. But the dog already knows it's no big deal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
wonderful.
nice. There's a lot of options out there.
Think outside the box.
Yes.
Think outside the crate.
Think outside the crate.
To leave a dog, particularly a young active dog, we don't know what age this dog is, but it's generally an adult, active, smart dog. It's putting the lid on the pressure cooker and turning up the heat and leaving them alone.
Right.
They're going to blow. So these are all ways to release the energy.
Right. Exactly.
Think about it that way.
And then, last but certainly not least to the whole thing, don't forget about training, because training can help teach the dog self-control. And a lot of these destructive behaviors are when the dog, like Kate says, the pressure cooker goes off. So
It's only during that 15, 20 minutes they're awake. That's all it needs.
Yeah.
Boom. Yep.
Even the zoos are talking, and I shouldn't say even the zoos. More and more zoos are going to enrichment.
Environmental enrichment.
Yes.
I'm a huge proponent of that.
Oh,
In
yeah.
fact, if you go up to petconnection.com, I just wrote a blog about it just a couple of weeks ago.
So those are critters that never get to leave their enclosure, and so they have to enrich. So, but if you're leaving your dog in an area, whether it's your house or your yard or a pen, for a certain amount of time, you've got to enrich it or get them out so they get some enrichment.
Exactly.
Right.
Break up that pressure cooker.
Yep. Exactly. All right.
All right. Well, those are three questions we answered in this podcast. Hope we gave everybody something to think about. Meanwhile, don't forget we're on Facebook. You can look up Kindred Spirits Dog Training and like us. Since they don't say friend anymore, it's like.
Oh.
And also follow us on Twitter at Liz Palika. And we'll see you when we record our next podcast.
Send
so
us
keep
some
track.
more questions.
Definitely. More questions. Liz at PetLifeRadio.com.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Having a rough day? Longing for the dog days of summer? Think your fun furry friend lives a dog's life? Well, find out everything you're begging to know as Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with pet expert and award-winning author Liz Palaika. Every dog has his day, and you'll find out how to make your dog's day fun and rewarding. Every week, on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.